We need to talk about selling, my brother Ryan said, sliding a folder across the table. I was in the back office of my restaurant, Amara's Kitchen, doing payroll when he showed up unannounced. He had our sister Melissa with him, and our mother. I looked at the folder but didn't touch it. Selling what? The restaurant. We have an offer, 4.2 million. We split it 4 ways. Everyone walks away happy. I leaned back in my chair. This is my restaurant, Ryan, not ours. That's not how Mom remembers it, Melissa said, her voice sharp. My mother nodded. We all built this together, honey. It's a family business. I stared at them, at the 3 people sitting in my office like they owned the place, like they had any right to be here making decisions about something I'd built from nothing. Get out, I said quietly. Ryan blinked. What? Get out of my restaurant, now. Amanda, be reasonable. You have 10 seconds before I call security. They left, but Ryan left the folder on my desk. I opened it after they were gone. Inside was a purchase offer from a restaurant group, $4.2 million, and a partnership agreement I'd never seen before, dated 8 years ago, listing all 4 of us as equal owners of Amara's Kitchen, LLC. My signature was on it, except I'd never signed it. Let me back up. I'm 35 years old, a chef. I worked in restaurant kitchens for 15 years, starting as a dishwasher at 16, working my way up through prep cook, line cook, sous chef, executive chef. I saved every dollar I could. I lived in tiny apartments with 4 roommates. I worked doubles and triples. I ate staff meals and never went out. 10 years ago, I had enough saved for a down payment on a tiny storefront in a sketchy neighborhood. I opened Amara's Kitchen, named after my grandmother, the only person in my family who ever believed I could do this. The first year, I almost went bankrupt 3 times. I worked 18-hour days. I was chef, server, dishwasher, bookkeeper, janitor. I slept on a cot in the back office most nights. My family thought I was crazy. My mother told me to get a real job. Ryan said I'd be begging to come work at his insurance firm within 6 months. Melissa called it a cute hobby. None of them helped. Not with money, not with labor, not with anything. But the restaurant survived. Then it thrived. I got a great review from a food blogger, then a local magazine, then the regional press. Within 3 years, I had a 6-month wait list. Within 5 years, I'd expanded to a larger space, hired a full staff, and was pulling in 7 figures annually. Now, 10 years in, Amara's Kitchen is one of the most successful restaurants in the city. I've been featured in national food magazines. I've won awards. I have a cookbook coming out. And suddenly, my family wants to talk about selling. I took the partnership agreement to a lawyer the next morning. His name was Victor. He examined it carefully. "This is a forgery," he said. "You're sure?" "I'd need a handwriting expert to confirm, but look at the signature. Compare it to this." He pulled out the original LLC filing, the real one from 10 years ago, listing only me as owner. The signatures were completely different. "This was forged recently," Victor said, "probably in anticipation of a sale. Who has access to your documents?" I thought about it. My mother has a key to the restaurant. She picks up food sometimes. I never thought. Does she have access to your office? Technically, yes. Victor made a note. We need to verify the original LLC documents with the state, pull all corporate filings, and I need you to gather any communications from your family about ownership or partnership. I spent the next week doing exactly that. What I found was worse than I thought. Text messages from Ryan dated 3 years ago. "Mom's right. You should put us on the LLC for estate planning purposes." My response, "I'll think about it." I never did it, never filed anything, never changed the ownership structure. But somehow a partnership agreement existed claiming I had. I found emails from Melissa to restaurant critics signing off as Melissa Hurt, co-owner, Amara's Kitchen, dated from the last 2 years. I found social media posts where my mother tagged herself at her family restaurant and talked about our business. I found a loan application Ryan had submitted to a bank using Amara's Kitchen as collateral, listing himself as 25% owner. It had been denied, but he'd tried. They'd been setting this up for years, slowly building a paper trail of involvement so that when the time came to sell, they could claim ownership. And the forged partnership agreement was the final piece. Victor filed a lawsuit within 2 weeks. Fraud, forgery, attempted theft of business assets. We sued all 3 of them and demanded an injunction preventing any sale or transfer of the business. We also filed a police report for the forgery. My family responded by hiring their own lawyer and claiming the partnership agreement was legitimate, that I'd signed it years ago and forgotten, that they'd all contributed to the restaurant's success in various ways. The trial took 6 months. Their lawyer put my mother on the stand. She testified that she'd helped with the concept for the restaurant, that she'd given advice on the menu, that she'd been there from the beginning. Victor pulled up the original business plan. "Did you write any of this, Mrs. Hurt?" "No, but I gave Amanda ideas." "Can you name one specific idea you contributed that appears in this plan?" She couldn't. He pulled out financial records. "Did you provide any capital for the initial investment?" I offered. "Did you provide any money? Yes or no?" "No, but..." "Did you work at the restaurant in any capacity during the first 5 years?" I visited. "As an employee or owner? Did you work there?" "No." "So you contributed no money, no labor, and no documented ideas, but you claimed 25% ownership?" She looked at her lawyer. He objected. It was overruled. Ryan's testimony was worse. He claimed he'd helped with financing by introducing me to a banker friend. Victor pulled up the bank records showing I'd gotten my loan through a completely different bank a year before Ryan even knew anyone in banking. Melissa claimed she'd designed the logo. Victor pulled up receipts from the graphic designer I actually hired. Her name was Jennifer Chen. She testified via video. She'd never met Melissa. Everything they claimed was a lie, and we had receipts for everything. The handwriting expert was the final nail. She examined both signatures under magnification, compared them to known samples of my handwriting from the same time period, analyzed pressure patterns, stroke consistency, letter formation. Her conclusion: the signature on the partnership agreement is not consistent with Miss Hurt's authentic signatures from that time period. The writer attempted to mimic her style, but the pressure patterns and letter connections indicate a different hand. This is a forgery. "Can you determine who forged it?" Victor asked. "I'd need exemplars from potential suspects to compare." We provided samples from all 3 of them. She came back 2 weeks later. The forged signature is consistent with Ryan Hurt's handwriting characteristics. He's the likely forger. The courtroom went silent. The judge ruled in my favor, complete and total victory. The partnership agreement was declared fraudulent. My sole ownership was confirmed. Ryan was found liable for forgery, a criminal charge that was referred to the district attorney. My mother and Melissa were found liable for fraud and attempted theft. I was awarded damages of $380,000, covering legal fees, lost business opportunities, and emotional distress. They were also ordered to publicly retract any claims of ownership and cease using the restaurant's name or image in any capacity. Ryan faced criminal charges. He pled guilty to avoid trial and got 2 years probation plus a $50,000 fine. The aftermath was brutal. My mother called me sobbing. "You're sending your brother to jail over a misunderstanding." He forged my signature on a legal document to steal my business. That's not a misunderstanding. We're family. Family doesn't commit fraud. She hung up. We haven't spoken since. Melissa posted a long Facebook rant about how I'd destroyed the family over money and how she'd always known I was selfish. I screenshotted it and sent it to my lawyer. He sent her a cease and desist for defamation. She deleted it and blocked me. Ryan sent one email after his sentencing. "I hope you're happy. You got your restaurant. Was it worth losing your family?" I wrote back, "I didn't lose my family. You tried to steal my business and lost. There's a difference." The restaurant is doing better than ever. The publicity from the case, Chef Defeats Family's Attempt to Steal Award-Winning Restaurant, brought national attention. My cookbook launched to bestseller status. I opened a second location. I hired more staff, people I trust, people who actually work. I changed all the locks, removed my mother's key access, updated all passwords and security protocols, and I put everything, the LLC, the trademarks, the real estate, into a trust with ironclad protections. No one can touch it. Ever. Last month, I got a letter from Ryan's lawyer. He's starting a restaurant consulting business and wants to use his experience with Amara's kitchen on his website. My lawyer shut that down in 48 hours. They're not done trying, but neither am I. Because here's what they never understood. I didn't build this restaurant for them. I didn't work those 18-hour days, sleep on that cot, risk everything I had so that someday they could show up and claim half of it. I built it for me, for the scared 16-year-old dishwasher who thought maybe, just maybe, she could be more, for my grandmother who told me I had magic in my hands when I cooked for her, for everyone who ever worked a terrible job and dreamed of something better. This restaurant is mine. Every brick, every recipe, every award, every success. They wanted to sell it and walk away with millions they never earned. I chose to fight, and I won. They can call me selfish. They can post their rants. They can tell everyone I destroyed the family. But I have the court documents, the financial records, the proof of forgery. I have the truth, and I have my restaurant. That's all I need. So here's my question for you. If your family tried to claim ownership of something you built alone, would you fight them in court, or would you give in to keep the peace?